Hello and good evening. This is Matt with Copper Alcoins, and as promised, it begins right here. Don't know how often we'll get to do this. I'd like to set up a regular schedule if I can, but I welcome you to the first stream that I've ever done live with a coin roll hunt. And I gotta say, my only hope is that I don't fumble it too hard. um, I definitely welcome anybody that wants to throw a chat into the chat window to do so. Please make yourself known, say hello. I would definitely love to see more of that. Looks like I have my first fan. Always my first fan. So anyway, I guess a little bit about me. I got back into coin hunting and coin collecting about the time that the the COVID virus started making its way into our lives last March. I started working from home quite a bit and found myself with time to get back into my um, my childhood hobby that I was pretty excited about, which was coin collecting. So I kind of dusted all that off, went back, looked at a lot of old coins for a while, and then got on YouTube, started checking out and seeing um, just um, which of these streams was most interesting. And I've bounced from stream to stream. I actually check out at least a dozen or more of these and try to subscribe to each one that I can. I realize that that's a pretty important thing for anybody that's kind of up and coming with this or even more established. Um, I wouldn't normally be streaming tonight, being Wednesday night. I'd be a couple hours into checking out what Rob Finds Treasure's doing. And hey, hello, William Finds Pennies. It's good to see you here. One of the you're officially one of my first people to reach out, say hi, see the stream that I've had a chance to chat with in other streams. So thank you for stopping by. Back to what I was saying, I kind of got back into the hobby of collecting and had a chance to go through those childhood coins and see what I've got. And it's amazing how long I had just let things sit there, probably for almost 30 years. And that might not sound like I was too avid a collector, but I always kind of had that itch to check out coins and things like that in that time. So I just really kind of fell back in love with it. And once I got into these streams and saw what was going on, I thought, man, that looks like that would be something kind of fun to do. Then I kind of learned a little bit more about it and what it takes to set it up. Obviously, I've kind of made some few investments to try and make this happen. So, um, I'm just happy to be able to do this, even if it's not I'm far from um, I'm far from being monetized by YouTube, and I'm fairly realistic about the the fact that I may never be, but this is just a fun way to share some time, be invested in this hobby, and definitely have other people in what is a growing community of people that enjoy this format and this hobby, and just have a chance to converse with them and just have some fun in the process. So I hope it'll be fun for you. Being that I really don't have a clue how to actually do this from this side of the camera, hopefully it'll be highly entertaining to see me mess up from time to time and we'll go from there. William finds pennies. Texas is still without power. Wondering if RFT is streaming. You know, I've been looking for that, and I have not seen where he is. I saw that he came out with a members only video, and it was about doing some pours, but I did not see where he had the comment video that precedes his normal stream, and I haven't seen the normal stream come up. So, I mean, on that topic, normally I'd be watching that, so I'm assuming that he's having some trouble down there. I just thought, why not go for it tonight? Why not? I had worked hard to get this format set up. I've got an alternative format if I do half dollars. But, you know, sometimes you just go for it, and we'll see what happens. So, you know, much like a bird, I'm kicking myself out of the nest, and it's time to fly. So with that, it looks like I may have my an audience of my children in the background. So hopefully they will be entertained by this as well. So there's probably more going on this end than you realize. So. All right, so we'll see how it goes. With that, I'm gonna. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, so what I'm going to do is throw some reading glasses on. Hopefully, I'm not too big of a nerd wearing these, but at any rate, let's dive into the first classic Jefferson head. So this is a good thing. It looks like the box will have some circulated nickels in it. So we'll work on maybe pulling back just a little bit on that shot. And we will see what we find. It'd be really kind of fun to have a logo right here, wouldn't it? We'll put that in the to-do list. Yeah, that's right, William. There is a lot of channels out there, and you know, I kind of feel maybe I'm so late. I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. You know, I'm just gonna do what I can and try to have some fun along the way, and you know, away we go. So. See if we can spread these out a little more and get to see them a little better here. Looks like maybe there's not enough video to maintain a smooth stream. I'm not sure what they're telling me there, but hopefully we will figure that out. So let's see. These 1964s always look really good, and it's got a D mint mark on it, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set that aside so I can look at it a little bit later for the repunch mint mark on that that's sometimes out there. There's another 1964. That one's a Philly, so I need to hang on to that one and look at it again. And you know, during this time, I might make a lot of mistakes in my my evaluation of what I need to hang on to. Clearly, I'm making a mistake on, and you know, all the help is definitely appreciated. And if you have any questions, I mean, that's surely appreciated as well. So there's another 1964. That one's got a, let's see what mint mark it has. I think it's a D. Yep, that's a D. So I guess I better hang on to the one thing that I just said that I was going to hang on to. Yeah, there it was. Yep. Okay, we'll hang on to that. Look at it a little bit later. I didn't really see anything from there, but I wasn't zoomed in real tight either. So there's a 2004, not the right one to look for. There's a little bit of a a DDO on that one. I'm going to have to pick up the pace or we'll be here all night. I am just kind of getting warmed up tonight. Normally I'd be able to go a little faster, but I'm kind of learning what it takes to do this while you're actually streaming as well. What I'll probably figure out is that if I keep talking all the time, I will probably be very thirsty. Luckily, my wife got me a nice cold drink before the stream started, so I appreciate that. Hopefully that wasn't too loud, but yeah, that's going to be rule number one, hopefully of many to come. So, kind of getting things worked out here. I need a sidekick. Yes, I do, William. I've actually got 4 kids, and I'm pretty sure that just about any of them would like to be a sidekick. There's a couple of them that, as I've gotten back into this, they have they've started an interest with it too. Especially my second oldest son, who joined me at a local coin show several months ago, and he had gotten his first job at a local orchard, and he decided he was going to take some of his money that we got out of the bank for him that day, and he decided he was going to go get invested in this hobby himself. So that was pretty exciting to see. There, maybe we'll... Sorry if it shakes the camera a little bit. I'm going to try and get just a little bit of light down here so that I can see what it is I'm looking at a little bit better. It's kind of dark. One thing I didn't take into account in this setup. So hopefully that will improve things just a little bit and be able to pick up the pace a little bit. So let's see. This one is the 2004. Try and hold it close. Never liked my phone's camera to be able to zoom in on things, but you can see it's kind of that 2004 where they had the Lewis and Clark coins with the reverses on those. This one's from Denver. I'm looking for the one from Philadelphia. It has a little bit of the DDO on the front. There's another 1964. I can see that one's a D already. So looks like I've got 4 viewers right now, maybe as many as 5. So if you're viewing, feel free to chime in, send me a message. I'm grateful for anybody I get on this first effort. So hey, this is great. I just found a 1958 Denver. We're going to call that our first find. So roll number 2 is already giving us one from the 1950s. I will take it. So I'm going to have to find a way to get my ones that go back to the bank into their box a little bit quieter than I have so far. So yeah, no, I appreciate the advice there, William. No apologies. Everybody's got to start somewhere. I definitely agree with that, and you know, it's just going to be one of those things where I find out real quick if I've got the if I've got the drive or the willingness to stay engaged in this for the long haul, and see where we go with it. You know, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. I've still got a nice little collection started. It might seem a little risky, but I got into looking at some online auctions, and Yeah, there's definitely an element of doing those that can be, I don't know, a little nerve wracking, like a little too much risk if you're fairly risk averse, which I'm a fairly meticulous and person, um, and I'm fairly risk averse, but this one seemed like it was. If I played it smart, I should be able to do some things that you know, figuring out a price, making some judgment calls, and working to try to um, try to do this um, with a mind and an eye from the viewpoint of say like a dealer. Try to get things below wholesale. Um, leave myself a chance to at least be able to get the value of them. It's hard to get much more than you know depending on the quality of the coin, the condition. Hard to get much more than melt melt prices, sometimes. But some dealers are paying just a little bit over melt. There's some of these I'm definitely more interested in. So, yeah, William, the Nichols, yeah, Westward Journey issue. That's right. I couldn't remember the name off the top of my head. So, um, while I've been talking, I kind of stopped hunting because I found a 1959, and it is a Philadelphia. So, pardon me while I do a quick update because that's what we do when we find things. I'm not going to do it all the time. I'm kind of doing what I didn't plan to do, which was make updates mid roll like that. But hey, I'll learn. Not a problem. Looks like Benji Silver stopped in. Hey Benji. Hi everyone on Copper Owl. Benji, I'm afraid there's not too many people. You probably know William Fice Penny, so hey, looks like he has reached out to you too. So yeah, I could definitely see this turning into something where very much like when Rob is hunting his coins, his half dollars. How his wife sits in with him and helps manage the chat. It's definitely an unenviable chore. With having over 800 people watching your stream on any one night, I just can't even imagine how much coordination and just flexibility it takes to make all that happen. So we're definitely not there yet. I think I can handle 4 people for a little while. So let's see. Got another of those Westward Journeys, but it's not a Philadelphia. There's a couple of these, like the 1980s Nichols. They always kind of throw me. They just end up looking a lot like the 1950s when we find those. So sometimes I have to double check that just to make sure. The other one that I'll be looking for, and if anybody's experienced it doing this, they know for sure why. 2009 seems to be a year that the mint just didn't make nearly as many coins, and it's kind of across the board. So I don't hold back. I pull those out of circulation and keep just about every one of them that I find. It's nice to contribute to that small collection of them that I've been able to get out of some boxes here recently, but more recently I haven't been able to find any of them, so maybe you guys are getting them all. A couple of them that looked like they'd had a little more life on them than normal. Oh boy, here's one that's really rounded off on the edges and scratched up, worn pretty slick, and that's only a 1983. So I don't know, 83's getting to be almost 40 years ago now. So Hopefully that's not bringing up too many memories for anybody, but there's another 2004 P from the Westward Journey, and we will set that one aside to look at it a little bit later. So we're kind of off and running here. Things aren't going too fast, but I hope I'm not making them too slow. Get the feeling that a couple of my children might be on here as well, so if they're not chiming in nearly as frequently, that's okay. They've been off school the last couple days here in the Kansas City area just because the weather's been really cold. There's just I think this is like one of the 7th or 8th time in the last 100 years or so that we've dipped down this cold, below like minus 12 at night. That one's another Westward Journey, Philadelphia, that I want to take a look at. So, Benji, how long have I been collecting? I started when I was a kid, and I really started when I would go to visit my great-grandmother's house in central Kansas, and she had an old coffee can, literally a coffee can, that she just had a bunch of old coins in, and she had a few others that were set aside, and they always just really intrigued me. And so, the treat for me was whenever we went to visit, she'd let me pull a couple of wheat pennies out of that old coffee can. And it just kind of stuck with me from there. So the copper in the copper owl coins really is a nod to that period of time, and to my great grandmother for getting me started with pennies, and really kind of developing that joy of looking through the coins that she had. So that was when I was childhood. I set it down. I set the hobby down for a long time. Really, when I got into college and had to go get a real job and got married and started a family, I just really spent a long time away from it. Between 25 and 30 years. Mr. Turtle, hello. Yes, the first stream. You are here for the owl jumping out of the nest and flying. I was going to say the maiden voyage, but I don't think boats and owls have too much in common. So we'll just call it jumping out of the nest. Decided that since it appears that Rob is having some trouble with his stream tonight, being in Texas and all the power outages that are down there, I'm just guessing that that's probably what the problem is for him tonight. I haven't seen any updates to where it looks like he's where he's been able to get back on and do his stream tonight. So in his absence, I thought, let's just go for it. Let's see if I can do what I've been preparing to do. I was going to wait until the weekend, mainly because I I only have the one box of nickels. I told my bank that I was just going to kind of take it easy this week. I've been hitting them a lot more frequently than I had planned to, so I wanted to kind of just back off, pump the brakes just a little bit. So that I could. Interesting toning on that 2020. You don't see that too often. That's still fairly new to get some toning on it like that. I don't know if the camera shows that very well, but boy, I don't know. I'm gonna have to. We'll put it on the microscope. There you can see it. Yeah, interesting stuff. Anyhow. Yeah, looks like we've got William, Benji, and Mr. Turtle in here. So, actually, What I need is a mod. I'm not even sure how I go about setting that up. So let me get to a good stopping point, or a pause point here, and we'll do something like that. I want to keep opening a few more rolls so that I can kind of build up a little bit of a I don't know, a little bit of a rhythm, I guess. I will have to apologize. This winter has not been kind on my sinuses. If I start sounding, really plugged up, believe me, it's been going on for a while. Luckily, it's never been associated with any of the COVID virus, floating around. It's been a challenge getting kids in and out of school. I'm sure some of you have had to deal with that firsthand. Mr. Turtle, I'm here for you. Just hover over my name and click Make Moderator. Well, Mr. Turtle, let me see what I can do about that. I am hovering. I don't see it doing what you said, but maybe I need to go into the participants. I might be figuring this out. I might. I'm not. Okay, 3 dots. Let's see. Add moderator. Mr. Turtle, you are now a moderator on my channel. Thank you very much. I think it's going to be pretty easy going on this stream, buddy. I only see six viewers right now, so keep them in line for me, would you? I think half of them might be my family. So, hey, we all start somewhere, and I don't mind at all. I love that they're willing to check in on this and try to support me in the ways that they can. My goal is to kind of wrap this up before it's time to put kids to bed. They've been off school the last couple of days, like I was saying, but so far we haven't seen anything that would suggest that they're getting tomorrow off as well. So, yeah, I'm sure you will there. I'm sure you will, Mr. Turtle. So, hey there, looks like my son is saying hello. Hello there. Glad you're willing to join in, watch your dad kind of be silly tonight. Alright. I think we're through about 6 rolls or so. Got 2 in the 50s, and it's been a little, I don't know, a little light. The last box that I opened was real light through almost 20 rolls, and then it just got crazy. So, that's just how it goes with these boxes sometimes. They can be really cold on part of them, blazing hot on the other. So, now, kind of going back to the conversation that started with collect. After about 25 to 30 years later, primarily when COVID came around, I found myself with a little bit of extra time. I normally drive about a half an hour to work in the morning and in the afternoon, so that time was now back in my hands. So it's pretty good feeling, actually. But still work very hard. In fact, last year I probably took as many flights as I normally do in a year, even with the pandemic in place, thanks to some essential work with some clients of mine. I got to make several trips to California. So, I feel very fortunate not to have picked up this virus along the way and brought it home to my family unknowingly. Between travel and school, it's definitely been concerning, but we just try to play by the rules and do this whether we agree with them or not, and that's how we get through it. So hopefully we will find a way to make this a much shorter experience in the near term. It looks like the numbers are trending down, so that's encouraging to hear. Then for every time that I read something that shows that the numbers are trending down, I'll hear somebody talking about how awful it is, and I don't doubt that it is. I just before the stream went on, I heard from a buddy at another company that I've worked with that on his last trip to a project that I've been to at least once or twice in the last several months, that when he got back, he found out that he had caught the virus. So I'm thinking about him and hoping that he gets well very soon. Now you can bust on Rob Wenzel and Patrick Johnson. Yep, Mr. William, we definitely appreciate your experience and the ability to keep us in line. So, honestly, I would love it if you guys that have gotten to know me, if you have any connections out there to see if somebody wants to come this way and watch the rest of this, or at least even a portion of it, that would be wonderful. I'd love to get some comments, see how we're doing. I think we're doing okay so far. I mean, my goodness, I've been watching these streams for 10 or 11 months now, and maybe not as unfamiliar with what to do as maybe I would lead you to believe. Ooh, cool! We have a 1954 from Philly. So we're gonna add that to our keepers there. We got 3 of them. So that's good. We're starting to find a little bit more. Hoping to find some in the 40s. I'd love to find something in the 30s. Obviously, you can't count on finding those, but it's pretty exciting when you do. I've done about 4 or 5 boxes of nickels here recently, and between a couple boxes ago, I did two of them on consecutive days and pulled out 3 or 4 war nickels. So that was pretty exciting. I'm going to check that 1960. I think that's a 1963. Philadelphia. Nope, that's Denver. So we can put that one back. I'm really glad you guys were able to find this and join in on it. I definitely appreciate the support. I hope to turn it into something where I can start doing some $half boxes. And I know there's really a there's a lot that can go into it. And I know there's some people that do the no frills approach, and I'll be honest, that might be the direction I have to start with. But I'd like to get to where I can build up a little bit of a reserve of items that I can give away. I'd love to give back to people and be able to take donations for boxes and be able to give things away. I just when I look at these other streams, I gotta admit I get a little bit jealous. I wish I had just boxes of 40s and walkers and Benjis to be able to say, hey, do you want a walker, a Benji, or a 90% Kennedy to be able to give away on something like that? But I just do not have that in reserve to be able to work with right now. So as I'm starting slow on this effort, I'll probably be going a little bit slow there too. So my goal is to slowly build this thing up and hopefully have some fun with it. Before I get into this, I am going to update that count. Get that third 50 in there. Uh-oh. Looks like it moved on me. Let's get it back where it belongs here. There we go. Okay, not sure why that happened. Benji Silver, what coins are you going to hunt? Everything. Benji, obviously from the name, I'm pretty partial to pennies, but I have really started to enjoy doing these nickel hunts. They let me kind of work within a budget that I'm comfortable with. I certainly don't mind doing them, but I'd like to get to where I can do maybe a box or two of $half from time to time. That would be great. Hey Coin Kid, thanks for joining. Just wondering, what do you use to live stream? How do you have a screenshot, 2 cameras, and slowly moving stats in the hunt? Well, I can speak pretty candidly about that. I have probably learned how to do that in the last 2 weeks. So much of what I've been watching is on the it looks like OBS Studio, which is what I'm using, and Streamlabs seem to be the two software packages of choice that people like to use the most. So I have some friends that use OBS Studio and kind of gave me some pointers on it, so I decided I was going to do that. So much of what I was watching, like on a lunch break on YouTube from my work computer, which is a really slick computer. I'd love to be able to use that, but it's my work computer. So I actually went and took some of my coin budget, went out, invested in a used laptop, a couple years old, made sure that it met the parameters for what OBS Studio needed to run, and it's a free download. So everything that you see on the screen is done through OBS Studio. It took a lot of learning, a lot of trial and error, and I'll have to credit, I don't normally get out on Discord at this point, but OBS Studio had a Discord help chat out there, and that paid dividends for me to finally get the stream up and running the way I wanted it. What I have here, this camera that you see right here, is my cell phone actually. So it's pointing straight down. I have an arm here that you see right here that helps me put it over the coin viewing area. There's a light on the other side of it that's helping me see. The scope right here is a pluggable, that's the name of the model, is pluggable. I think you've probably seen several of the stream people that put their scope out on there to do that. It's just another window in this setup that you can, each one of these items is like a window, so you can tell that window what to be. The camera that I'm pointing to now is a separate USB webcam. I decided I wanted to use that instead of the one on board the laptop because it only looks directly at me. I wanted to kind of get something from the side. The scrolling text is just basically a box with text in it, and then you can add a filter to it that allows it to scroll from side to side. You can go one direction or the other. I think you'll see when I do a half box hunt, I've got top and bottom text boxes, and they scroll in opposite directions. Just kind of a fun thing. Yeah, CoinKid, I think that would be really good. Um, I'd highly encourage you to be able to. Uh, I'd highly encourage you to check into it. Make sure that the equipment you're going to use is compatible with it first, so you don't go spending money on something that won't work, and just go from there. So probably saw me pause on these a couple times. Found a 1942 Philly. I was hopeful that it was going to be a war nickel from that year, and a 1956 Denver. So I'm going to add that to there, and since we're at the end of a roll, I will go ahead and update where we're at there. So I think I see what happened. So we're at 4. There we go. And 1. And it looks like we're back in business. So great. Yeah, primary focus to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm certainly hoping maybe someday that's achievable. We'll see how long it takes. We have to learn through YouTube. Yeah, YouTube has a lot of good tutorials for it, CoinKid. That's pretty much how I got some answers to questions that I had getting this set up initially. So otherwise, it can be a little bit frustrating. Like getting the digital scope to turn on has been, just as recently as a couple nights ago, I hadn't got it right yet. And before I went live here, I was hoping to go live at about 7 o'clock my time. But almost 45 minutes later, I finally got, some kinks worked out and, got the sound to where it was working. And hopefully it sounds good to you guys. But that's kind of the struggles. I like it that I have a couple of teenagers in the house that can definitely help me with those kinds of things. So that's what I rely on from time to time. So it's been very chatty, so I am gonna take just a little bit of break for the sake of my voice here. To run a monetized channel, you're talking 100,000 a year in just bank boxes. Yeah, I know that doesn't mean I'm coming out of pocket $100,000, but man, I cannot imagine doing $2,000 worth of coin roll hunting in a week. I I definitely have too many commitments, and I don't have the available funds to run an operation quite that aggressive. But so if somebody wants to donate, I'm sure we can figure out ways to do that. I'm sure YouTube and everybody else along the way wants their cut, so we'll have to figure out a way to make everybody happy in the process. And I'm going to pause for just a second, go off screen for just a bit. I need to make sure that this stuffy nose is taken care of. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm doing better now. have Mr. Turtle and he knows his stuff. Yep, that's what I'm hoping for. So, looks like we're down. Let's see, I would move your screen to the other corner. The owl staring at me is freaky. Yeah, I am definitely going to play around with the orientation of things. You know, in general, I think owls just kind of have the ability to stare at people. Boy, that's a nice 1965. I may have to look at that one and see if it is an upgrade in my album. I think I'll set that one aside for that purpose. But yeah, owls definitely have an ability to stare at people, and you know, almost like they're just staring inside them. So I'm definitely not going to be that creepy, but I'm going to work on some of the format here to kind of do a bit of a slideshow. I want to kind of incorporate coins that I've found, and work in, you know, kind of that keeping with that owl theme a little bit. I think it'll be some fun. Another 1964D. Got several of those that we'll be looking at a little bit later. It looks like Half Doll and Make You Holler is live now, so I'll definitely understand if somebody needs to run and take care of those guys, but I tune in from time to time with those guys. Pretty interesting fellows. They definitely have their own way of having some fun on their stream, and that's kind of what it's all about. You know, doing this to kind of personalize it and make it fun for you, fun for other people, and share some knowledge and some laughs with other people that are out in the coin community. Know some stuff. Most of the things I know is about coins, or even some knowledge about billies. OEM, I don't think I would either. So, have you ever eaten owl? Okay, that's what Benji's talking about. I've never eaten owl. Actually, the owl portion of this, I mentioned earlier that the copper portion of the name is kind of a nod to my great-grandmother who got me started in the coins. The owl portion is kind of a more current reference, and I'm going to get to that in just a second, because we have what I was hoping for. It's a 1939. That will do just fine. I am thrilled to have one in the 30s. Big question is, will it have a mint mark? That would be awesome if it does. Let's see. Nope, not this time. I have the 39 Philadelphia in my album, but I do not have one with a mint mark. Mint marks, as you know, are definitely harder to come by because they are more of the key dates. So, hey, you know, I'm gonna love the fact that we got one in the 30s. So we will update that board just as soon as we get there. And lo and behold, it's almost like the nickel box is giving me a little bit of a nod. Yeah, boom. That's right. And here, oh boy, I think this is meant to happen. Not only have we found a penny in this nickel box with a nod to the copper from the name, it is a 1973 Denver. 1973 is when I was born. I have no other reason to hold on to that one other than I think it's just super cool that it happened now, and that it happened with that year in particular. So a lot of fun. That was exciting to find. Even though we lost 4 cents, I'm calling it a personal win. Let's see, what do we have there? That's a chewed up 90. Sometimes those are kind of hard to see. One's got some crazy color on it, but it's just a 72 with a lot of wear. That one looks like it's been hit with something. That's only a 91. only in 91. 1991, that's when I graduated high school, so hard to believe I've got 30-year anniversary reunion coming up later in the year. If we're able to get together, I certainly hope we are. I've missed the last couple of milestone reunions, so missed them for various reasons. The one that I did make was my anniversary or 10-year reunion, and I think that was on a Friday and Saturday in September of 2001, and a couple days later, woke up early and watched a lot of news that morning when the nation came under attack on 9/11. So it's not hard to remember the last time that I went to my reunion based off of that reference point. But we won't get into all that tonight. That was a tough day, really tough day. So, what did we find? A penny? Mr. Turtle, that is... Yeah, we're gonna take whatever kind of boom we can get tonight. You're in Vietnam killing people. Well, as far as I see that, William, you really kind of had one of two options there, and I think you probably took the right one. I can't imagine being in a war. I decided not to volunteer and go into that career. I'd be interested in finding out, William, if you had volunteered or if you were drafted at that time. I had an uncle that was drafted into that conflict, and my grandfather, his dad, was drafted into World War II. Had some activity in the Battle of the Bulge over in Europe. He was in the engineering company. I forget which one off the top of my head, but always looked up to him for the work that he had done. He was a good guy, and he always liked to come to my sporting events when I was a kid growing up. So he's a pretty special guy to me, as was my grandmother. So I'll just keep going here. I'm not quite sure how many rolls we're into this. I think I need to update the board again. How about on the next find? I'll do that when we're done with that. When we're done with that roll. So I think we're starting to pick up some speed, getting a little more used to this. So hey, there's another find in 1946 from Philly. 1 year off of a war nickel. Boy, another close call. I've only got a couple war nickels left to find in my penny album, so William finds penny. I'm 25 years older than you. I just say you're 25 years wiser than me, William. We're not old, we're just older. Any fans of Bon Jovi would know that that's a pretty decent song. I definitely enjoyed going to concerts. I'll have to admit that Bon Jovi was probably one of my first concerts that I ever went to as a kid in high school, and all the girls went crazy for them, and I was a little girl crazy, so I figured, hey, that's might be a good way to say hello to somebody. If my wife's still listening, she knows that I was a little squirrely back then. But as a teenage boy, who isn't? So we're kind of finding that out with our two teenage boys now. One's about to turn 18, so we're starting to look at college and figure out how to do that next step in life with him. So, Volunteers Special Forces Navy. Holy crow, that's pretty impressive there, Mr. William Finds Pennies. Well, thank you for your service, Mr. William Finds Pennies, and you certainly did a job that I myself didn't think I was capable of, and so I did not volunteer into our military. Got a few friends that did, and I think he's a lieutenant colonel in the Army now, and that was a little bit of a surprise to me. You know what? Here's another 1948 Denver. That's a great find, but I realized that I kind of lost track of where I was. I did not go and update our board. Like I said I would, so after this roll, if I can stop talking long enough, I will do that. Benji Silver says, my father was a Seabee and invaded Okinawa. You know what? Benji Silver, a good friend of mine that used to work with my company that I got to know on a work trip a couple years ago. They are a Seabee, and I can honestly say that if I were to, being an engineer by nature and by education and as a career, I definitely think that if I were to serve, that it would be hopefully in a capacity something like the Seabees. I don't know that I've been in love with the Navy and you know aspect of maybe being out at sea, but I'm sure not everybody that's been in the Navy ever was when they started. But yeah, it definitely is a pretty cool group to learn more about. If nobody knows about the Seabees in the Navy, that's something to go look at. Cody Ammons, hello. Thank you for stopping by. How's it going, guys and gals? You know what? I caught myself. I'm learning. Pardon me there. We're going to update the board real quick. Sorry, but my arm is definitely going to be a part of this stream when I have to go in and update that board. So happily, I'm going to be updating with 130. We're now up to 340s, and we still have 4 in the 50s. So we'll make that work. All right. Cody Ammons, how are you doing tonight? Thank you for stopping by. This is the first stream that I've ever done. So I hope it's coming through good, and that it appears that I have a clue what I'm doing. Not hoping to embarrass myself, but you know, with 4 kids, I've learned to kind of laugh at myself quite a bit. They definitely have humor that I can't quite grasp sometimes, and I have found that I end up being the unwitting butt of a joke every now and then. So I just have to learn to roll with it. Otherwise, I'd go nuts. So I'm sure my wife agrees with me on that one. Alright, what do we have in this box? Doesn't look like there's going to be too much, judging by the look of everything. But that's why we look through all of them, because you just never know. Looks like those are done. So, Fine Penny says that's known as mean green. They wore green strips. Okay. Mr. Turtle says nice. 40s are always nice to find. Yes, they are. you just see that number 4 on there, and things get just a little exciting because you don't know, is it going to be a year where they made the war nickels with 35% silver in them, or is it not? And that's where the 42s really seem to be, they're almost a tease to me. I think I found more 42s without the silver nickel than I have with, because in that year, I forget which mark it is that we're looking for specifically for silver there off the top of my head, but not all of them had it. That much I do know. So we are just cruising now. Looks like we've kind of started to hit a little bit of a stride here. 1969 there. Ooh. I think I found a copper nickel. Nope. That just has a layer of something on it. Almost looks like milk chocolate, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to worry too much about that. Cool find. And I just realized that I had a miscellaneous on that penny that I did not update the board with, so I am going to do that after this roll. Okay, whoa, what do we have here? Oh, 1969. In the corner of my eye, that looked like it might have been a 39 again. I would take it, no doubt. Is Mrs. Owl in the stream? I will have to see who's here. I don't know that she is right now. I know she was when we started things off, but I'm not sure that she's going to sit through this whole thing. We'll just have to maybe find out later after this. So, oh, I'm going to catch myself before I get going on that one and update that miscellaneous. There we go. Paint. You must be talking about the paint that was on that brown one. Yep, that's probably what it was. Found another 1959D. We've got at least, well, no, that was a 59P, so I'm going to take just a second to get these organized in year order, just to be a little more meticulous in what I do, because that's what I do. My job definitely has the ability to keep me on my toes with being fairly meticulous at what I do. So, God help me, I'm an engineer. Does anybody know what movie that came from? If you know, throw it out there in the chat. Oop. Speak of the devil, there's another 59, and that one looked like it was from Philly, but I think I see a D. There is a D. Look at there. I will stack that one. I'll tell you what, just so we have something, not a blank screen on there, I'm going to put that 39 out there, just to do that. Boy, I like this roll. Now we have a 1940, and it is a Philly, so we're going to have to move the line down just a little bit. It's a little bit off camera, but you see the 50s here. I've got the 40s and the 30 up there, but now the 30's over on the scope. So Not sure if we'll find another 30, but until we have something else to put on the scope, that seems like a good thing to put there. 1964, that was a Philly, so we'll toss it back. And William finds pennies. What did you... Cimarron? Not sure if I'm saying your name right, but sup, people? I don't know. What's up with you? Welcome to my first ever stream, Cimarron. I appreciate you stopping by. We're just in the middle of a nickel hunt here. None of the rolls are bought. I don't really have giveaways. I'm just taking the opportunity. I assume that Rob Finds Treasure had some trouble streaming tonight due to some of the power issues that they've been experiencing in Texas. I was hopeful that he wasn't going to have, because if any of you watch his channel on Wednesdays and Friday nights, you might remember that I made a bet with him. I made a bet on the Super Bowl because I'm a big Chiefs fan, and we were pretty darn excited to be in back-to-back Super Bowls. And I think we've got a chance we'll get back to it at some point again, with Patrick Mahomes as our quarterback. And having Andy Reid as our coach certainly doesn't hurt things either. That's a nice 91. Not sure if it's book-worthy or not, but we'll set it. I actually made the bet with Rob, an ounce of silver of our own choosing, the loser's choosing, I should say, and I made that bet with him during the conference championship round. So we didn't know if the Bucks were going to make it past Green Bay at that time. In fact, I really didn't think they would. I thought we were going to have a Chiefs and Green Bay rematch of Super Bowl I, but that didn't happen. The Bucks won that game, and luckily the Chiefs were able to get past a tough Buffalo team. I think they're going to be tough in the future. I really do. So we were pretty thrilled when that came around. I definitely traded a few emails with him, with congratulations, and now we've got a bet and all that kind of fun stuff. There's a 1957 Philly. So we will sneak that into order there. So what I forget what it is, but by losing the bet, I had to go out and get an ounce of silver for him. I was going to do something more fun than just a bar. I don't know what in the world he has in his collection. I just hoped that whatever I got was going to be, something cool. Maybe something he hadn't had. Maybe something that he'd wanted. But I was really kind of just taking a stab in the dark. I was hoping that he was going to maybe show it off tonight in his stream. So I was hopeful that he was going to be able to stream tonight. I was hopeful that he was going to be able to, give me a little bit of a shout out to promote, upcoming stream. But as it turns out, here I am doing this, and I'm just hopeful that they're doing okay there in Texas, and that they'll get power back to be able to do what they do really, really well. I mean, I gotta say, Rob really does a fine job with his stream. A lot of people do. I've been and see a lot of different streams, and that's really where I got an idea on the setup and how to do a lot of this. So I'm learning from you, and I'm just hoping that someday, like Coin Kids, was asking some question about what software I use to do streaming with. And I'm happy to pass that information along, because honestly, it wasn't more than about a week ago that I was figuring it out, and now I've got this to work with. So seems like it really is something that a lot of people can pick up and figure out without too much hassle. And just have some fun with it. 1974 there was a little dingy. It kind of tricked me at first. There's another 64D. A little bit of a tower of these started up. I haven't checked in on the chat here in a little bit. 1943 S War nickel had a steel planchet worth $3,760. Wow. Canada had steel nickels in 44 and 45 chrome plated. Be a nice find. What are they worth? Just normal 5 cents. That's a January 30, 2001 price. Alright. I love that you guys are able to do some chatting. I'd like to see if we can get, I'd love to see if we can get up to 10 people on this stream. So reach out and tell your friends to take a break just momentarily from the guys at Half Dollar Make You Holler and come say hi and add to some stream here. So I know there's others chatting. Hey, just found out how to chat, so hi. Well, that looks like that might be another son of mine. Alright, 1952, and I think this one might be an S. It is an S. That is pretty cool. I think I've already got that one in my book, but being that I don't run into too many of those, I will definitely be checking that against my my book. That's the earliest one from the 50s that we have so far tonight. I'm going to put that 39 back on the scope because it just looks cool there. Apologize for my nose. It is just a little bit on the stuffy side. What do we have here? Oh, 93. The 3 caught my eye. I get excited when I see a 3 on just about any nickel. So, I gotta learn to ease it back just a little bit. Make sure that that 3 is in the 10 spot, not in the 1s spot. So. Hey Josh, meet Mr. Turtle and Mr. Ben G. It looks like it's got a little bit of a ring. Not quite where the Ring of Death would be on the back of it, but it's still a Westward Journey nickel, Philadelphia minted, 2004. There's a little bit of a DDO to look for there. So what I'm doing is I'm setting stuff off to this side that I'll come back and take a look at. Haven't quite mastered the art of knowing all of the things to look for on the fly to be able to use that scope more effectively, but I definitely hope to get more experience and learn and be able to do that. So hey, there's another 1954. That one's from Denver. And it gives me 2 54s on the night. So I think I'm going to have to do another catch up on that tally board so we can see where we stand after this roll. I'm definitely starting to understand why we don't stop every time we find something on other streams and why we play catch up from time to time. That would take a long time if we stopped all the time. Hey, 1957, also from Denver. So it gives me 2 57s now. Oh, and I will have to say, I was actually going to tease Rob Finds Treasure a little bit about this, but I know on his Nickel Hunt series, he's filling that album. He's down to about 4 of them that he has not found, and he's through 36 boxes and still looking for that 1955 from Philly. Every time he turns one over, it's from Denver. Well, I was experiencing the same thing until about 3 boxes ago. Rob, I found the 55 Philly that you've been looking for. It was in Kansas City, and now it's with me. Every once in a while, Rob will comment on a chat that I throw out there and kind of give me that look right into the camera. So I'm learning, Rob. We're going to do some of the same things. So. It'd be nice if he was able to join us on this, but this is his normal time slot, so I can pretty much be assured that I'm not going to be on this time slot all the time. I'm going to get a quick drink. Oop. Tipped over a roll of nickels right there. Benji Silver. Yeah, if that is a pretty creative name. And if it's your real name, then you're just made to do this. That's a nice alias on here. Yeah, one of my sons got into doing some YouTube stuff. About a year ago, he started doing some things. He's really creative when it comes to graphic arts, and quite the artist himself. And he's having some fun with modifying some videos that are out there. I'm not too sure how he does it, or how he finds his material, or how he comes up with the slight modifications to him, but he started his own channel out there. I think he's taken a little bit of a break from it. He's been pretty busy in school, getting used to high school, so and it's been kind of a weird year getting used to high school this year. So I really think about kids and what they're going through all the time these days. Wow, that one is slick. I think that is the definition of slick right there. And that is not an old one, so that one has just been rubbed real flat. There's like nothing on the Obversa here, so you can see the outline of his head, but when you rub it, it is flat. William finds pennies. Yeah, I know. I saw the box reveal from PCGS when he got the Superbird back. That is pretty phenomenal. I will definitely have to add that to things that I look for when I look for when I hunt quarters. Somebody asked earlier what coins I was going to hunt. I will hunt quarters. I seem to be having a little bit of luck finding some silver out of them. I mean, I've really only hunted about 2 boxes of quarters so far, and one of the primary reasons there was for Christmas, I got one of my sons the State Quarter album, and I thought it'd be really fun to just kind of include him and sit down and get a box of quarters, go through them together, and see how many spots we could fill off of one box. And I'll tell you what, it was surprising. Maybe not in that we found the quantity of spots. We really were down to probably less than 10 by the time we got done hunting the box that we had not found. And we weren't concerned about condition at that point, but a lot of them were really nice. And that being said, we found nice ones. We got quite a few of them, and so I thought, well, let's get another box, and we did, and we filled the whole darn album in under 2 boxes, and it was really cool. He was really happy, and I had so much fun doing that. I had never done that before, so it's a hunted album. I'd like to just find one from Straight Pocket Change, which would take significantly longer because, honestly, I don't carry a lot of pocket change anymore. So, anyhow, I had so much fun with him on the State Quarter album that I went and got the America the Beautiful album and decided to hunt the national parks versions of our quarters these days. And I didn't get quite as good a coverage as him. There's definitely a number of holes that are in the album that I'm looking at, but you know, I'm not doing too bad. I'm probably down to about 14 or 15 that I haven't found, and I think we should be able to find those, you know, with just a few more boxes. Hopefully so, anyway. But I don't mind taking my time with that either. You know, part of the fun is the time that it takes to find the stuff that's really good or fills a spot, and you know, I try not to forget that, and you know, use that as a lesson to my kids how to be patient. Mr. Turtle says, I started collecting with State Quarters, then a relative got me an album, and it was my mission to finish it. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I like to hear things like that. That's always fun to be able to look back at what things got you going and the things that you did that were fun during that time. Wow, I just pulled a 54 Denver out of there. There's a 55. Well, here's where I wish my overhead camera would zoom a little bit, but there's the 55. Let's see what we got. It's a Denver. Oh, I don't have a companion filly for that year, so hey, I had to check, right? I couldn't just not know. If I found 2 of those before Rob did, I'd definitely have to crow just a little bit, but I might not do that. You know, mainly because there's no need to, but I'm still kind of licking my wounds after that Super Bowl because I really thought we were going to win. So, sorry about the noise there. Be right back in a minute or two, so please wait for finding that V-nickel. Hey, I'll try, Mr. Turtle, but you know, when that V-nickel wants to be found, it will be found. So, everybody, if we find a V-nickel, don't tell Mr. Turtle just right away. We want to surprise him. I actually found a Canadian V-nickel several months ago. That is a really lightweight item. Surprising how it almost felt like it was like aluminum. Maybe it was. I forgot to go back and look at that one. But he uses PCGS, and I'm not a fan. I am an NCG member. You know, William, I would tend to agree. I never really fell in love with one or the other, but at least early on, I've definitely had a tendency to go more the NCG route. I'm not really sure why. Their holders seem to be pretty cool. But as I'm out looking for good deals in the auctions, I will definitely be open to either. I've not had the fortune of sending in the penny that we talked about previously, William. Here, just I'll pull that penny over here and give you a little bit of a live look at it. I appreciate you taking a look at that. I also sent sent it off to Rob to take a look at, and he came back with the thinking that it had definitely been altered or cut down or something of that nature due to kind of the jagged edge of it. But it's really hard to tell, and um, I honestly think that there's something to this thing. Um, it's really interesting. I'll put it on the steel one that's chrome plated. Yeah, that's right. It's pretty cool looking. Very lightweight, but I'm putting that penny that I found about 2 weeks ago out here on the slope now, and you can see, yeah, that edge on the front of it looks pretty rough and irregular and all that. And for anybody who doesn't know what we're looking at here, this penny, when you hold it up to a dime, it is the exact size of a dime, and it's a 1953 wheat penny. But take a look at the back here. It's rounded over in a really unusual way. It's a much cleaner edge than the front, and it still gets just about all the features of the penny, with the exception of the letters being rolled over and several kind of gnarly dings that are there in the penny. I don't know if that's when somebody was having some fun and altering it or not, but William, I heard back from John Wexler on this one, and he had referred me to somebody else because looking at this one was just not in his wheelhouse. So I'll have to go back and see who it is he sent me to look at on that, but or to pass it along to. But I am not ruling out doing the NGC membership so that I can send that in, because I've got a few others that I've been wanting to send in, including over the fall. I had a friend that came in and brought their collection. They're not sure what they've got. They're not really avid collectors, but they've just got a small collection that's been passed down in the family. And I'm thinking, okay, well, there's a Morgan dollar there, so that's always pretty cool, of course. Um, and I know that anything from Carson City automatically just pumps up the value of a Morgan dollar, as we all know. But what I wasn't sure about was the dates and the right combinations of mint mark that were really valuable ones. So I flip it over. I'm thinking that it's like 1890 Carson City would be like really valuable even at a low grade, because this thing has some black in it. It looks like it's environmentally damaged, and I'm sure if it comes back as authentic, it will come back with environmental damage. And if that's the case, I think we'd all be fine with that. I'm just really hoping that it's authentic, because what it actually was 1889, and when I turned it over, it was a Carson City. The two C's are there, and I've taken it to a couple of different dealers to get their to have them look at it under magnification and to look for the telltale signs of being authentic. And it's really coming back at almost a coin flip, no pun intended. It's about 50-50 on who thinks it's real and who thinks it's not. So I have a deal with my friend that if they're willing to cover the cost and the risk of sending it in for grade, and it comes back as not genuine, not authentic, that they would go ahead and cover that cost. But if it comes back and it is authentic, that I would be given the first right to make a deal with them to buy this, because that one in particular, even in low grade, is worth several $100s. And I'm just looking at this thing when I see it, and I'm just stunned by what I'm seeing once I go back and do a little more homework on it. So I'm not going to show it off, not at least until I find it's genuine and I have a chance to own the thing. At that point, maybe I'll show it off. But anyway, I was going to get back in here and update this real quickly. Let's see, we are up to 4 in the 40s. And 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 50s. How do I get that many 50s that quick just by talking? Some might say I talk too much. Anyway. I'm a one-man show, man. I got to entertain myself. I've got you guys keeping me company, but kind of the one-man band right now. So we'll see if that changes down the road. I'd definitely like to have some help. It'd be fun to just have discussion with someone other than myself and responding to the chat. I think it could be a lot of fun. I hear my kids upstairs. They're laughing about something. I don't know if they're still watching, if they're laughing about their dad. Go to Heritage Coins website and look for your penny. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. I think I'll take your advice on that one again, William, and see what we got. I'd really like to find out that this thing is the real deal and that there's some fun story behind it, how it got to be what it is. But you know, it was a lot of fun to find it. As you well know, I pretty much couldn't stop talking about it 2 weeks ago. And if anybody wants to, hear more about it, I'm definitely willing to talk about it. I mean, there's not much else to know at this point, but it was fun to find it. All right. Glad I've got carpet beneath me and not a hardwood floor. You'd be hearing the number of nickels that are hitting the floor, so I'm going to have a little bit of cleanup after this. So. You know what? That's just fine. I fully expect Mr. Turtle to be over at Paws. I honestly, when I'm done here, I'll probably head over to Paws stream as well. I really admire Pa and what he's doing. I love that he includes his grandson Hudson on the hunts and includes him in the moderating. It's a lot of fun to watch them have fun together and be able to do and take part in this. So pretty clear that they have a pretty special relationship. That's fun to see. If we could roll the clock forward to bring my grandparents up to this time, especially my great-grandmother, and if she was streaming on YouTube, which obviously back then that wouldn't have happened, but I would have definitely been in Hudson's shoes trying to help out. So I kept thinking we had a 2009 in there. I was going to get excited, but honestly 2009s are proving to be more rare than the 1939s tonight. Boy, I do apologize. In fact, before I hunt this one, I'm going to take another quick time out to deal with my pesky sinuses. We are laughing a bit, but out of love. That's because your dad's a goof. Anyhow, hey, Mr. Turtle, how's Pa doing? We figured maybe you're over saying hi to Pa. But, and if you are, no problem at all, man. I definitely respect what goes on over on Pa's stream, and there's a lot more to keep track of there than the 6 or 7 people that are here. That being said, hold on 1 second. I need to move off camera again to take care of these pesky sinuses. Okay, I'm back. A little bit better. This weather has definitely seemed to play a part in that. Maybe I'm allergic to something in my own home. I don't know. We have a golden retriever dog in the house, and boy, he's a lovable guy. I'd hate to find out that I've got any allergies to him, but I don't think that's the case. Don't laugh at your father. Someday he's not going to be around. I lost my father in 2005. I tell you what, William, Josh is a one-of-a-kind kid. Um, he's got a lot of joy in his heart. He loves other people. He's very good at just about anything he puts his mind to. And I'd say that's pretty true about any of my kids. Um, they range in age from 8 to 17, almost 18. Oh my gosh, I've almost raised an adult. But they're all special in their own ways. Josh likes to make a lot of people laugh, so he's just fine having a little laugh at my expense, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. He's a good kid. I'm sorry that you lost your father there, William. Luckily, my father's still alive. My mother's still alive. I still have one grandparent still alive. I have some step-parents that are alive, so I've been very fortunate to this point in life. I haven't lost too many family members. I love my wife's family too. They're really, really good people. Not everybody can say that about their in-laws, but I certainly will not hesitate to. There's a pretty good look in 1957. That is from Denver. That might be an upgrade in the book. Keep that one a good spot to be able to look at it later. I'll have to make a mental note to go in and update the board after a couple more rolls. I don't want to do it right away. Get back, I've been talking so darn much that I've kind of lost track of needing to. Well, that's a really good look in 2004. I'm going to set that aside. That might upgrade the album too. I think I've got some really good ones for that year, but you never know. Another 64D. I'm going to start a second tower of those. You can keep it up. I've got plenty of war nickels. War nickels are pretty cool. It's just a little bit different design. It's anything World War II era. I really enjoy it. A little bit of a history nut. Certainly loved studying history when I was in school. There's yet another 1959, and it is a D. That's about 4 of them for the night. So the 59s have come to play. Another 64D. I think that makes at least 3 of them in this roll. Not too bad of a 70, but I know I've got a pretty good 70 in the book, so I'm not going to worry about that one. Yeah, I'll tell you what, war nickels, as soon as I have just a few more, if I were going to be doing any kind of giveaways, I'd probably look at doing those as an initial giveaway, especially when we're doing a nickel album. If we're doing a $50 box, I'd kind of like to keep it consistent with the denomination we're hunting, but like I said, starting off, I'll use whatever I can to try to build a good, respectable stream within reason and within a budget. It's almost counterintuitive, coin hunting on a budget. I'm going to set aside this 1963 Philly. I don't remember off the top of my head what I'm looking for there, but I know that there's something about that that I want to go back and look at. I think it's another, it's not an RPM, because there is no mint mark, but I believe there's some doubling that we should look for there. Wow, that one looks like it's old. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, that's a pretty slick 80. Ugh. Fooled me again. Here's another slick one. That one's probably like a 1990. So it fools me once, and I start to mock it, and then we turn over a 1947. And I dropped it from Philly. Happy to have another 1940s nickel in this hunt. So it's going pretty well. Another 65, close but no cigar on that one. 64D, more to look at. In all the 64Ds I've set aside, I still have not found what I'm looking for on that. So, I don't know, when you guys hunt nickels, do you set aside the 64Ds to look for that repunchment mark on yours? Let me know in the chat if you do. I have a young girlfriend. She's in the 82nd Airborne. Hey, man, whatever keeps you young, man. I'm not here to judge. I'm sure she's a wonderful girl. My son says he loves me. Well, that's always nice to know. I love you too, son. Mr. Turtle acknowledging the love in the room. Come to think of it, it has been a while since I have come across a buffalo nickel. So, if you guys have any power through the magic of YouTube to spread some good wishes on this box, let's find a buffalo nickel, let's find a war nickel, let's find something other than these 30s, 40s, and 50s. And I'm not complaining about finding something from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. It would just be the cherry on a sundae for me to be able to find something like that. It'd make a good box great. Let's just put it that way. I've really only had about one box, which tells you I haven't hunted many. Only one box that's come across with more than one war nickel in it, more than one buffalo. But I'm very involved with my sons, my two older sons that are in Boy Scouts, and we did a lock-in a couple months ago that, you know, everybody was kind of off doing their own thing, and I happened to grab a box of nickels that day. So I brought my equipment down to where we were doing the lock-in since everybody was staying inside, and offered to do something with that. Hold the phone here. We have a gold plated Westward Journey. Look at that. I'll put it over here on the scope to see if that gold comes through. Kind of washes out, but I think you can probably see it on the camera. That is a different color. I'm not sure where some of that comes from. I think it's from like a very specific collection, but it's like the first one that I've found that is that uniformly gold. I've seen some that looks like it's either toned or worn off, but I'm going to set that aside as kind of a cool find. So we'll call that another miscellaneous. Gold? Where? I think it's just gold color, Mr. Turtle. I think it's just gold color. Benji silver on an otherwise fairly light night is giving me a big old boom there, so I will take it. Man, I wish I could get wound up like Big Mill does, but I'm going to save your speakers and not do that. Typewriter Maniac, welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you'll like what you see. This is a brand new stream, first stream that I have ever done, And we're hunting nickels tonight. We are hunting nickels. So we're doing pretty good so far. I'm going to update the board here in just a little bit with the latest totals that we have, but we're not doing too bad. As you can see, we have how's the hunt? Patrick Johnson, welcome. The hunt's going pretty good. I was actually just talking about it. We have 5 from the 40s. I know the board's not updated, but we have 5 from the 40s. I believe we're up to 13, maybe 14 from the 50s. We've got 1 from the 30s. In fact, I'm going to slide that one back on the scope because we've been looking at that small penny for long enough. And really, we haven't found anything too significant like a war nickel or a V nickel or even a buffalo, but we're down to about the last 15 rolls of the box. So if we're going to find it, we need to find it soon. I'd really like to find something to kind of make a good box get great. I'd have to go back and look at the words and see, but I have most boxes find somewhere between 20 and 25 finds from these kind of target years, and that's fun too. Man, I'm going to have to talk with these guys because we're going to have yet another miscellaneous, and it's going to cost me 4 cents. As a 1968D. Well, I'll tell you what, it didn't cost me 4 cents, it only cost me 3 cents, because that copper, as you know, is a little more valuable than the face value of a penny. So we will call that yet another miscellaneous. I'm just going to put my other miscellaneous penny out here. I really kind of love that one because being my first hunt and finding something that's a little different, not only was that fun, but it was also minted in the year that I was born. So I'm just taking that to be a great sign for my first official hunt on a live stream. So why not take every good omen that's out there? Well, there's another close call, 1946, and that is from Denver. So we will put it with the other 46 we have, and that is going to inspire me to get that board updated after this roll. We might have another one in there. We might have another one. Oh, close, 1962. Shoot, it looked a little older than that. But that's okay. I gotta say, I'm having more fun with this than I was with what I was originally going to do. I was going to be trying to get caught up on some work, and I'm not so sure that I won't still do that. But I thought, let's have some fun. It looks like Rob is maybe not going to make it into the stream tonight due to weather down there in the Texas area. I'll go ahead and update this board. So I thought, hey, let's have some fun. Let's do a stream. I got to start sometime, somewhere, right? So let's count up these 50s. 1, 4, 9, 10, 14. So that puts us up to 21 finds on the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and a couple of miscellaneouses to boot. So we're going to keep rolling here. Pause Spare Time gave you a shout out. Thank you, Pause Spare Time. I will definitely get over and thank him a little bit later. Ouch, they really like stealing your money, Mr. Turtle. They sure do. Boy, I'm down almost a dime. Oh, that's all right. They were both copper, so I'm only down about 6 cents. I got that one covered. Keep drifting a little bit off camera here, so I'm gonna try to straighten that up. Uh, 63. That looked like it was maybe a good one, but not quite where we wanted it to be. I don't know if anybody else thinks about this while they're hunting. It's amazing to me how you can find so many of these. I mean, it's literally like a coin flip, whether it be heads up or the obverse will be showing or the reverse will be showing. It's amazing to me how many times I find so many reverses facing me. And I'll grab like 8 of them and turn them all over at once so I can kind of make the hunt a little quicker. But it's amazing to me that I run into that so often. It's not really irritating or anything. It's just, I notice trends and things like that, and it's kind of one of those unusual things that not everybody probably notices, but being a little analytical in my ways, I definitely do. So, never find pennies in nickel rolls, only dimes in penny rolls. Well, if you're finding dimes in your penny rolls, that sounds like a good trade-off to me. That sounds like a great trade-off. Be nice to find gold. Machine rolled, all random. Yep, that's true. That is true. Some of those hand-rolled ones, maybe they're not as random. I know I've never spent the time hand-rolling one to make it quite that orderly. And as I say that, I make sure that I'm looking at the obverse, of course, on all of these. So that's just how it goes. That's how it goes when we're hunting. Oh, this looks good. We have another 1930s. We have another 1939, and I can't wait to find out if this has a mint mark on the back. Odds are it won't. Let's slide it up slowly and see. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Oh, it's another filly. I am not disappointed at all by having another 1939 filly. That makes 2 of them, and I had gone a couple boxes without anything in the 30s, so that is not a problem. Not a problem at all. The nickels in my tubes of 30s were getting a little bit lonely in the last couple boxes, so we'll send them some friends after tonight. Just got another order of nickel tubes. I was starting to run out. So got some penny tubes on the way too. I've really started to get a whole lot more wheat pennies at auctions. If I can find them for a good price, I'll grab a lot of wheat pennies. Several hundred wheat pennies at a time. I know it's more fun to hunt them and come by them that way, but man, I just love wheat pennies. There's just like I've kind of mentioned a couple times. It takes me back to my great grandmother and how she got me involved. Wheat pennies were kind of the thing. I love a good Indian head too, and boy, I'll tell you, I've had some good finds in getting those larger lots of wheat pennies through auctions, and not only did I find this small wheat penny that I've been kind of chatting about, but the first time I did that, I actually found a flying eagle penny in there too. And the craziest thing was, not only was it a flying eagle penny, it had a lot of wear on it too, but this thing looks like somebody had propped it up and shot it. It didn't have a hole through it, but it had one heck of a ding right in the middle of it. So I'm not sure what somebody was trying to do, whether they're trying to punch the middle out for whatever reason, or or what, but you know, I like to think maybe because of its age and all that, maybe some sharpshooter threw it in the air and decided they were going to shoot it with their pistol, like we see in the movies. Who knows? 1930, almost 100 years ago. Yep, yep. That is 98 years, or no, not 98, 92 years ago. I found all the Indian head pennies but the 1877 in customer rolls. Man, that's impressive. That's pretty cool. That 1877, even in poor shape, that's going to cost a little bit. I'd love to one day have one, but that day is off in my future, and maybe when I'm retired, I'll have a little bit of income that I've done a pretty good job of saving. So I just hope I hope by that time we haven't printed so much extra money that that it's still worth something. Who knows what the price of silver will be then? That's still almost 20 years in my future. I guess it's only about 18 years in my future, about to be 17, so definitely starting to change my perspective on things. There is a 1953 Denver. The second oldest 50s that we've got. So I'm going to start moving things around just a little bit. Getting a little crowded there. That's a good thing. Do you do auctions on high bid? Benji Silver. I do. I have done those. I am trying to be very particular about the ones that I do. I try to watch to make sure that that they offer shipping, that I don't have to jump through any special hoops there. I try to look for the ones that have lower buyer premiums. And early on, when I was not looking at them nearly as often, but just a few, I actually created my own spreadsheet, which I've been known to do. I like a good spreadsheet, so this one really gave me the chance to dive into some fun things. William Tell, hello. Kind of you to join us. I hope you like what you'll see. And we're just hunting some nickels tonight. Not really filling in for Rob Finds Treasure, but decided that since he couldn't stream tonight, I'm assuming that he couldn't stream because of the power outage, that I thought, why not? We'll give it a try. This is kind of the first time that I've streamed, so hopefully it's going well, and we'll see what we got. Boy, that's a pretty good looking 1966. I got a couple of these that are going to have to be looked at in the book to see if they upgrade. That's not a bad problem to have at all. I have totally lost my train of thought what I was talking about before I welcomed William Tell into the chat. Oh, I do apologize. It'll probably come to me after the stream is over. We're starting to get down towards the last, let's see, we've got 9 rolls left after this, so the end is in sight. You don't have to hear Copper Owl talk anymore after that. I have the 56. I assume you're asking, yeah, okay, Mr. William, asking Mr. William there, Mr. Turtle. I keep mixing your names. I'm sorry. I think we were talking about high bid auctions. That's the one I've used the most. I started off with some that were a little closer to home, but it definitely branched out. I found some interesting ones. I've gotten some pretty cool stuff, some really old stuff too. And it's a little risky to do that. I'd prefer to be able to put my own eyes on it and be able to inspect things before I buy them. So that's why I try to look at things and be very willing to walk away from a bid and be as certain as I can before making a bid on something like that. I've definitely been burned. Um, not not real happy about that, but you know that happens to everybody at an auction because it's an auction. You can't be 100% sure of what you're getting, and that's okay. That's why it's the buyer beware thing.
Howdy, how's it going?
Looks like I've got some company behind me. I'm doing just fine. This is my oldest son. Recent Eagle Scout. If anybody,
Don't have to brag on me.
oh, I do too have to brag on you. I use HiBid too if they have shipping in. Yep, that's a pretty big component to it. Make sure that's closed.
I'll leave you to your business.
Okay. Looks like he's going to head back upstairs. I didn't expect that, but oh well. I have a large gold collection too. That is pretty cool, William. I would I'd love to get into gold. I'd love to get enough silver and the value to go up um, to where maybe I could, instead of sorry about shaking the camera there. I'd love to get it to where maybe I don't, cash in on the silver, but I have a chance maybe to trade for gold. And if we can do it right, maybe the price will be where I can take advantage and maybe get a little more gold. But yeah, gold is tough for me. That comes at a pretty high premium. Turtle, most gold flakes are fake gold. Yep, that's probably true. Okay, we got another in the 40s, 1949 Denver. So we're going to put that up here with the rest of them. I think we might get another one out of this roll. It looks like it might be a little further back, but we can't tell just yet. I could pull it out, but why not just take a moment to get there? Well, we are going to have a new oldest of this box, because we just found a 1938. That is the third from the 30s. And if everybody in the chat can give me a boom on that, that would be appreciated. I know that's coming, because that's about, aside from a V nickel or silver, war nickel, or buffalo, this is about as big of a boom as I'm probably going to get tonight. So let's see if we have a mint mark on that one. We do not. So that is a 38 Philly. Oldest of the box so far. And when we get to the end here, I will grab my book and see if I've got that one. I can't remember. I think I do. But I would love to have a book filler on that one if I don't. I've been doing this. Rob's stream, or his series of nickel hunts, really has it gave me the idea that maybe I could do my own nickel hunt. And while I'm sure that the quality of my nickels that are in the album aren't quite as good, because I simply don't go through as many nickel boxes as he has, but if I strictly use only the nickels that I've found during a hunt, like Rob has, I would be I'd be about 15 nickels away from a full album, and most of those being war nickels and the key dates. So I can hope that I will find those through the hunts. I've got coins from the personal collection that can fill some of those spots, but I am going to try and keep it strictly a hunted album. I keep a spreadsheet of the collection, and I've started one that basically gives me that virtual feel of an album, and I'm looking at that. If I include the ones that I have from my collection along with the ones that have been hunted, I'm down to about 8. I think, and most of those again are the key dates that are and semi-key dates that are harder to find. There's a 1947. It is a Denver, so we are starting to get a nice collection of 40s as well to go with those plentiful 30s and the large quantity of 50s that we have. I don't sound too sarcastic there, do I? Maybe a little. No need to be. It has been a pretty good box to hunt tonight. I will give it that. The 30s are really making it worth it in my mind. So, looks like we're down to 6 rolls now. Less yapping and more unwrapping here. Maybe we need to take that approach and bring this hunt to a close. So I'm definitely hungry and a little bit thirsty. What do we have here? Oh, 1964 with enough wear that it really kind of tricked me. But that's a filly. We're going to put it back. Yeah, looks like that's not going to be any more in there. So we are into roll number 45 of this box. I'll tell you, I'm not going to do any more updates on the tracker just yet. We'll do it at the end. Keep forgetting to put those back on the camera. I get them a little too close to me. It's probably because with my eyesight I'd like to see them. Another 64, another D. Add that to the collection. The D over D on that on the 64 is fairly distinct. That's a good-looking 60. I'm going to take that off to the side to check the book against it. Some of these years have really high quantities of good-looking coins still out there, so I'm not sure how to explain that, but it seems like every once in a while I find a really good-looking 64 as well. I have not meant to ignore the chat. Looks like we've got some good discussion going on. Some stamps, maybe some gold. Pearl Harbor mail. Old mail is valuable. Hey, that's some pretty cool stuff you've got there, William. Yeah, that'd be really cool to see some of your collection. That's really intriguing, some of the things you're mentioning, and I'm sure that you're not getting into everything that you've got. So. I love to hear about the old stuff. You know, like a lot of people that collect. I like to think about where a coin's been, the journey on its way to my hands. One of the coins that I bought on high bid early last summer, I decided to try and get some older large cents, and I'd gotten an 1816, an 1817, 3-star, or 13-star 1817, and boy, I thought I was doing pretty good. And I came across one that was just the right price, and it was not in fantastic shape. This thing has got to be G4, AG3, and I understand. That's a lot of wear and a lot of life off of these coins, especially a large penny from that age, and this one was no different. But when I got to looking it up and doing a little bit of research before making a bid on it, I think I won that one for about $40, but it was an 1802, and that's the oldest one that I have in my collection. I love having it in my collection. And, I had a family member ask me, well, why would you go get something like that? I mean, what's that really do? And I said, something from 1802. We hadn't had an official mint for but about 9 years in this country when that coin was made. In fact, if you go back and look at the quantity of pennies made at that time in our history, you're talking literally about one of the first 10 or 20 million pennies ever made in this country. And that may not seem too significant, but it sounds pretty cool, and it's going to have a story with it. This is a pretty good looking 1959D. That's about the fifth one we've got tonight, but it's in pretty decent shape. I'll put it on the scope so you can see. Yeah, the hair's worn a little bit slick, but it's got some decent details in other places, especially on the collar. The letters are sharp. You can still see some of the details in Monticello there. It's not too bad a one. We'll have to look at the book and see if that one upgrades too. Oh, 4 more rolls to go after this. I gotta say, it's been a lot of fun doing this, guys. I will definitely do this again. I told my bank that the next time that I get a box, I'm going to ask for some half dollars. So we'll up the ante and do some half dollars. I've got a little bit of a different format set up for the half dollar stream. I've been thinking a lot about how to set things up, and the look and feel of them. Getting some feedback. If you go out to my channel, you'll see. I think I've actually accidentally got 2 videos out there called the test run number 3. I'll have to take one of them down because it was I forgot to edit the description on it, and it was actually announcing that I was going to be streaming tonight. So. Thank you, Patrick Johnson. I try. I wish my nose would cooperate. It's been a little stuff. And we finally found a 2009D. Well, better late than never. Lucky what we found. That just makes the stream even better. Now we need something real old. Older than the 30s. Used to have a channel with videos, but too much blankety blank, so I dropped it. I can definitely understand that, William. I can, and I debated with myself, quite a bit on whether this would be worth it or not. And if it doesn't work out, I'm going to be fine with that. Like I said, I have no delusions that I'll become some mega YouTube star or anything like that. I just had a thought of when in the Iron Man movie, when Tony Stark talks about nobody's calling me a superhero, and they said, well, no, we didn't call you a superhero. I said, well, that would be wonderful, though. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be a YouTube star. I mean, it could be cool, but I know a lot comes with that I'm simply not ready for, and there's probably a lot of that stuff that you're referring to, William, that I honestly don't want to deal with. And I think about some of the larger streams, everybody that gets up over 1,000 or tens of thousands of subscribers, and just the different dynamics that come with that. I think about it, and I can't foresee what all that might be, and I haven't really picked the brain of too many of the regular streamers to ask about it. But I would imagine it's just kind of the way of things. It's the way things go. Too much of any one thing, and somebody's going to have a problem with it. So that's why I'm happy to keep things small. I would be hunting these on my own, but this gives me a little something extra to do. So my hope is that we'll be able to incorporate some other fun elements of this, maybe some type of giveaway. I honestly don't even know where to start when it comes to things like the comment picker or anything like that. I would have to ask a lot more questions about that before I before I'd be so proficient to be able to do that. YouTube's coming along. When I started YouTube, you could download. Well, I got a lot of thoughts on that, Williams Finds Pennies, but nothing aimed at you. Just on the whole topic. It's something that I definitely I can understand why people get caught up in it, and if it's not out there for somebody to kind of fall victim to, I'm okay with that too. There's way too much of that out there on the internet, and you don't have to come here to find it, so that's okay. I am a little concerned with other content that's available to children, especially like my younger children, that they like to watch different YouTube things like Dude Perfect and things like that, and a few other kids on here that act well. I'm sure they're not kids anymore, but they act silly like kids, and somehow they have just phenomenal numbers of people watching them. They're monetized, and somehow they make that work, and that's their job. And I guess to each their own, but it's a way to make a living that I never dreamed of or thought hey, I should go do that. So that's okay too. I don't know. We'll see. Kind of hopeful that maybe I'm exploring this on my own, and we'll figure it out. This is the last roll of the box, so we have reached the end. There's kind of a funny colored one in there, so that one we'll take a look at. I don't expect it to be a war nickel, but the last time I found one, it was kind of that color. So we will take a look. I can't wait. We're going to take a look. And it's not. It is a grungy 1992. Nothing particularly special about that one at all. Oh well. Maybe we can find one more oldie out of this bunch, and then we'll call it a night. I'll get that book out and see if we've got anything to put in it. That 1938 Philly really has me intrigued to see if it has anything, if I have an open spot in the book or not. Another 64. 64 Philly. Let's see what that one is. That's a pretty good looking 64. See, that's a good example of the ones that I'm talking about. Some of these years they just seem to have a lot of them that are oddly in better shape than even some of the newer ones. So I think that one might be our last chance. That's a 64. Another Denver to look at. And I can pretty much tell from the rest of these that we are not going to walk away with anything older. That's a really good looking 64. I've got a pretty good one in the book, so I'm not counting on that upgrading, but we'll still take a look at it. So, anyway. And the box that these come out of is just about overflowing right now, so that's awesome. Alright, I'm going to bring this 39 back over here and just hold on. There's filters. I don't like adult YouTube channels. I've found them raunchy. Yeah, I agree. Congratulations on your first box live stream, Benji Silver. Benji, thank you very much. William, thank you very much. I gotta admit, I didn't know how this was going to go, but I think overall it went pretty good. If y'all want to hold on, I'm going to get this book off my shelf so I can take a look and see if we've got something for that 38. I don't do real expensive Dansco books just yet. I'm gonna, if I get this thing filled, I will definitely make an upgrade there. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I don't know if it's in focus or not. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit for everybody. There we go. So as you can see, I do have the 1938 there. Although it's not, I don't think it's in as good a shape as this one. So far as some grime on it, this one is, so, but this one has more detail in it, so I'm kind of torn which way to go with that one. I think I'll probably keep the more detailed one. We'll take a look at these 39s. The 39 that I have there is in pretty decent shape except for a couple scratches on it, so it doesn't look like these are going to necessarily be strong upgrade candidates either. Let's take a look here. I did not bring the other books over, and I'm not going to worry about that. So I agree, William. It was great when there's some chat, and I appreciate you guys keeping that chat alive while we've been going. I appreciate it. It went very well. Thank you, Benji Silver. I'm kind of looking over my glasses now. I guess now that I'm done hunting them, I can take them off and rub my eyes and relax my eyes a little bit. So yeah, we're going to wrap things up. Let me get the totals updated one more time so we have a clean record of it for everybody that's out there. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the 40s. Not a bad night. Not my best night with 40s, but it might be one of my top nights with 30s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 from the 50s. That, again, that's not a record for me, but it is a good night. And we have one from the 90s, or one 2009. So, aside from the true oldies of the War Nickel, the Buffalo, and the V Nickel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, for five categories, it's not what I would call a full board, but it is definitely a good night. So, hey, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to probably head over to pause as well, so I'm just looking at the clock. Almost 2.5 hours here. Man, it went fast. I really can't wait to do this again. We'll probably do it with $half again. Probably not this weekend. Probably about a week from now. So, hey, yeah, you know, I haven't been able to declare a raid, but yeah, let's go raid Pause Spare Time. Let him know how things went. Give me some prop over there. Who let the owls out? There's Paul Brenneman. That's right. That is a buddy of mine. Who let the owls out? And the appropriate response is hoot, 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 hoot. Thanks for stopping by, Paul. It's great to see you here. I appreciate it. Yeah, give me some props over in Pause Spare Time, and we'll see you over there. Until we do this again, we'll see you later.